Gal Gadot recently announced that she would be returning to her role as Wonder Woman in James Gunn's new DC Studios. And then a report came out that she wouldn't be, then another report that she would be. What's going on at DC? In October of last year, James Gunn and Peter Safran were appointed the new CEOs of what is now being referred to as DC Studios. This was an attempt by Warner Bros. To consolidate all of their DC content and bring it all under one banner. DC Studios and anything that exists outside the continuity of James Gunn's DC would be considered DC Elseworlds. So basically their job was to get everything organized and presumably get DC heading in a better direction. The franchise has been an absolute mess for the last decade, but in the last year alone, things have gotten even worse. Flop after flop after flop. Black Adam, Shazam 2, The Flash, Blue Beetle, and next in line, Aquaman 2. All lost money. Fun fact actually, Blue Beetle is the 7th DC film in a row to bomb at the box office, if you include Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 1984, and The Suicide Squad. So yeah, it's safe to say DC needs a reboot. Or to just go away for a decade or so to get people missing it. Superhero movies in general just aren't what they used to be. They're no longer guaranteed to turn a profit. It seemed for the longest time that if the words Marvel were on the cover, you had a hit. But as superhero fatigue has began to set in and quality is dropping fast, people just aren't interested in seeing the same old thing anymore. Or they're angry at Disney Marvel for ruining their favorite franchise, but that's neither here nor there. One of James Gunn's first acts as CEO was to recast Henry Cavill as Superman. This, for a time, had fans up in arms, given that around the same time Cavill had announced his departure from Netflix's The Witcher. He had also recently announced he would be returning as Superman, so it was quite the letdown when it was discovered that this was indeed not the case. However, given some of the comments Gunn made about his vision for the future of DC, it seemed a widespread recasting of most of the core characters would be occurring. Ben Affleck's Batman, Ezra Miller's The Flash, and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, and so on. This, at the very least, gave credibility to Gunn's decision, given that he would be starting fresh with all new actors and all new stories. However, it was quickly realized that the plan was far more disorganized than it appeared. The Flash movie seems to indicate Ezra Miller will remain as the Flash, and Gal Gadot recently announced that she would be returning as Wonder Woman. The article from Collider reads as follows. Quote, while discussing her upcoming projects, Gal Gadot gave a look into the work that went into reviving the once defunct Wonder Woman 3. Apparently, Gadot was given a lot of reassurance by DC Studios CEO and co-chairman Gunn and Safran, who had previously dealt a harsh blow to ongoing DC projects. Quote from Gadot, I was invited to a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran. They told me, and I'm quoting, you're in the best hands. We're going to develop Wonder Woman 3 with you. We love you as Wonder Woman. You've got nothing to worry about, so time will tell, end quote. Now this is after Wonder Woman 3 was apparently cancelled late last year, so Gal Gadot seems to think that she will be reprising her role. However, it was reported by Variety that sources at Warner Bros. Claim that this is not happening. That article reads as follows. Quote, despite recent comments from Gal Gadot claiming DC heads James Gunn and Peter Safran told her they would develop Wonder Woman 3, sources with knowledge of the situation tell Variety this is not the case. According to the sources, a third Wonder Woman movie film is not in development at DC Studios, nor do Gunn and Safran have plans at this time for any Wonder Woman project in the DC universe other than their previously announced Paradise Lost prequel series for Max. So there you have it, right? Not happening? Well now, from Hollywood News, we're getting this. Quote, unknown scoopster has taken to their Twitter account to share the news that Gal Gadot will be back in her role as Diana Prince. The post reads, sources confirm that despite reports saying otherwise, Gal Gadot will be back as Wonder Woman for James Gunn's DCU. So you may be wondering what the hell is going on at DC, and you would not be alone. I don't think James Gunn knows either. I don't think DC knows what the hell is going on at DC. Gunn is a fantastic filmmaker, and a lot of the comments he made when he first took over as CEO gave me hope that the new DC studios had a chance to actually make up some ground and bring back what we all loved about superhero movies. However, with these sorts of reports and the inability of DC to turn a profit, it's becoming more and more clear that even under new leadership, DC Studios is the same disorganized mess that it's always been. Given that Gunn's Superman film isn't set to release until 2025, Perhaps a long break from this sort of content is exactly what we need. Or perhaps it will be the same mess it's always been. If you enjoy this sort of content, consider subscribing and liking the video. If you love this sort of content, consider becoming a member. See you in the next one.